Welcome to mediamelanietv. Today I'm back to talk about some very exciting renewal news fresh out of Apple TV+. Fans of the Buccaneers rise because we are getting a season 3. It has officially been confirmed. It's been about 2 months since the season 2 finale, which ended on quite the cliffhanger. For anybody who has not watched the Buccaneers, there will be some spoilers ahead, so you may want to tune out if you want to watch it and be surprised. It is based on or inspired by Edith Wharton's unfinished novel of the same name. And something great about an unfinished novel, there's a lot of room to expand the plot, get into different character development, introduce completely new characters. And that said, I actually have not read the book, so try not to drop any spoilers down in the comments, although I do hope to read it sometime before season 3. I also just wanted to mention, sorry about the blurry background, it's not my usual thing, but we are getting some flooring replaced and there are quite the pile of belongings stacked behind me, so I appreciate you bearing with that. And as soon as I saw this news today, I'm like, okay, I need to put on my fancy headband, get this video out, and share everything that we do know so far. There's not a lot of information out there. We don't know exactly when it's going to come back, although speculation based on the past production schedule says likely 2027. So we've got a little bit of a wait, and of course, I will be here to bring all of the news as it develops. All right, before I get more into the season 3 renewal news, please do hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm on this journey to become a full-time TV content creator, and my latest goal is trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. I appreciate everybody who's tuned in with me, and I am talking about some other shows, Only Murders in the Building, Gen V, Task, and another teen drama which is coming up on November 7th, Maxton Hall, highly recommend. And at the end of the month, I will also be talking about Welcome to Derry on HBO, and The Telemasca, which is in the whole Anne Rice universe. I love Interview with the Vampire Season 1 and Season 2. That is also going to be coming back here in 2026. All right, back into this exciting renewal news. The show initially premiered in 2023. Season 1 was very heavy on the love triangles and got into this group of American girls who took London high society by storm in the 1870s. One of the things I love about this show are the messages of female empowerment. There is a queer storyline. I love that they are stepping out and taking on some themes that, were controversial back then. Season 2 was a lot more about love, marriage, societal expectations. There was a big trial in which Nan, first of all, finally found out exactly who her biological mother was, because yes, she is an illegitimate child. But what's interesting is Theo, her husband, the Duke of Tintagel, decided that because he's in love with Lizzie, who is Nan's best friend, he's abdicating his title and everything that goes along with it. His mom, Dowager Duchess, sneakily, without even telling her love interest Reed, called in this secret, also illegitimate, brother of Theo's, who is the product of Theo's dad's affair. He, at the end of season 2, was riding in under the cover of night on horseback, and all points lead to the fact he's probably going to be a big villain here in season 3. As soon as I saw him riding in and then Nan running out, of course she is pregnant with who she says is Theo's child, but I'm still not 100% convinced. She did go over the timing and said the doctor, while on their honeymoon, confirmed that it did match up with it likely being Theo's baby. However, it is a TV show, we never know. I don't know that the science of predicting due dates back then was quite as good as it is today. So I am leaving some room open for the possibility, at least, that it could be Guy's baby. I am a Nan and Guy endgame person. I didn't mind Theo and Nan at first, and Guy's put up with a lot of stuff from Nan in the first place, especially when she went to Italy, got with Guy, and then decided, you know what, I'm actually going to go back. There was, of course, the situation with her sister Jinny, the death of Richard, Conchita's husband, and the imprisonment of the worst of all on the show, James Seaton. I'm curious if we will end up seeing him again in season 3. And my question about Kit Tintagel, this illegitimate brother, he is riding in under the cover of night exactly at the time while Nan is running away after Theo made his big announcement. Is there a possibility that he is literally going to run into Nan, which A, could cause a physical collision and something could potentially happen with the baby, or they run into each other not in a physical collision and they end up meeting and perhaps he brings her back to Tintagel? It would be interesting because I don't know in this type of meetup under the cover of night if Nan's just going to all of a sudden get into all of her affairs with this guy, and if Kit Tintagel would even reveal in the first place exactly who he is. And I mentioned James Seaton, who is the big baddie in season 2. Perhaps we will not see him again because now there could be a new villain here on the scene, but at the same time, Jinny has a baby, Freddie, and I would imagine there's probably going to be some contact between Freddie, Jinny, and James, the dad. And the poor Seaton family in general, they lost their dad, they lost Richard, who was such a bright spot, and Conchita and Richard's relationship has been one of my favorites in the series so far as a whole. Now, myself being a Nan and Guy person, it's interesting because there's Guy and Paloma. Of course, she's the young woman that Guy met in Italy. They accidentally got married, and Paloma has actually been withholding the annulment papers. But now that Nan has sort of given Paloma permission to be with Guy, is Guy going to chase after Nan once again after everything they've been through, or will he settle down with Paloma? I am leaning towards the former. I'm hoping that Guy chases Nan wherever she goes. They're able to meet up, and regardless of if it's his baby or not, I would love to see them end up being endgame, raising that baby together. But at the same time, if it is Theo's baby and it is the true heir to Tintagel, I mean, yes, Theo has abdicated the throne, but could there be a world in which Kit and Nan get together and raise this heir together? Because Nan has proven that she was extremely vested in being a duchess and everything that came along with it. And now that it's come to light that, yes, Nan is an illegitimate child in that divorce hearing between her mom and her dad. And by the way, I love Christina Hendricks. I think she's been an amazing mother figure and someone that Nan could really confide in, especially during season 2. And Leighton Meester plays Nan's biological mom, Nell. Are we going to see more of her here in season 3? I definitely hope so. Leighton Meester is also appearing in season 2 of Nobody Wants This alongside her real-life husband, Adam Brody. I don't know how arduous that filming schedule will be, or hey, if they're already filming a season 3 of that show. But given that she was not a hugely prominent character, I would imagine that we will see the return of Nell as well. And now that Nan is going to be a mother, Nell will be a grandmother, and the sisters at least have been able to work something out amongst themselves. So I do think that Nell taking the stand did earn quite a bit of cred with Patty, of course, Nan's mom. And I'm interested to see how these sisterhood dynamics end up shaking out as well. Now, a statement from one of the articles I read, season 3 will see the women more united than ever, facing new challenges, a mysterious new duke, and the uncertain future of Tintagel. Given that they are highlighting this uncertain future, the heir has got to come into play. There weren't necessarily paternity tests back then, but I think once Nan does give birth, it will become apparent as to whose baby it is. I would venture to guess that if it is Guy's baby, the skin tone might be a little bit darker, which of course may enter a little bit of scandal itself, although biracial marriages were not uncommon. Of course, we had Conchita and Richard as well. The scandal's going to come in because it's going to be, is this or is this not the actual heir of Tintagel? And the Dowager Duchess, she kept this whole secret about Kit, or the fact that she was contacting him from Reed Robinson, Hector's dad, and her love interest. I could not get enough of these two in season 2. It's nice to have that sort of intergenerational love interest, which makes this young adult show more appealing to middle-aged women like myself. But at the same time, I am a sucker for young adult and teen dramas because it does bring you back to when you were that age, some of the questionable decisions that were made. And a lot of people are really hard on Nan for some of her choices, which is a double-edged sword, right? Because she is around 20 years old, and the position that she's been put into, there's a lot of pressure, there are high stakes, but still, a lot of these girls have barely been out there experiencing the world. Somebody who will be out there experiencing more of the world in season 3 will likely be Honoria. And by the way, the actress who plays her is Kate Winslet's daughter, fun fact. And one thing I've loved and appreciated about the show as well is the queer representation. Her and Mabel's relationship was one of my favorite storylines in season 2. They ended up coming out to their friends, which I loved. And Honoria had the opportunity to go off to France, which I think Mabel had mixed feelings about. But with the old adage, when you love somebody, you let them go, Mabel is fully supportive of Honoria going out and doing that, kissing some other girls, living her life. But ultimately, I hope that these two come back together as well because they make a great couple. Other things we can expect here in season 3. We can expect fresh twists, returning cast, and plenty more scandal and sisterhood ahead. The sisterhood truly is at the heart of the show, the relationship and friendships among all of these young women. And of course, the love triangle, that was at the heart of a lot of this with Lizzie and Theo and Nan and Guy, and Paloma sort of mixed into there as well. And again, it will be interesting to see if Guy stays with Paloma, but I am leaning towards the fact that I think he's going to go after Nan after this big announcement by Theo and the fact that she's pregnant. Now, Guy doesn't know that she's pregnant yet, but you know who does? Lizzie, which was quite a power play by Nan to go to Lizzie and say, hey, I'm expecting Theo's baby. Please don't tell anybody. We now have Lizzie keeping this big secret from the guy that she is likely entering a relationship with who just gave up everything for her. Is Lizzie going to keep the secret or is she going to let it out? And then if Theo does find out Nan's pregnant and it is his baby, is Theo going to run after her as well? Is there a world in which Guy and Theo are both chasing after Nan? I mean, it's definitely possible. So between the pregnancy, the introduction of Kit Tintagel, and whether or not he's going to be the next villain to replace Seaton, there's a lot of potential opportunities here in season 3. And again, because Edith Wharton's novel is unfinished, lots of room to go in many different directions, introduce characters who may not be in the book, and also go into some storylines that they can expand upon from the original source material. I'm also curious how many of you have read the Buccaneers book. I'm hoping to read it before season 3 because I don't think there's going to be a ton of spoilers from what we already know about the first 2 seasons and the fact that, yes, they can expand upon it because it is not finished. Another quote from one of the show creators, absolutely everything is up for grabs and none of the things that Nan thought were certain anymore, except for the fact that Nan's got a child in her stomach and Theo doesn't know about it. This is from creator and showrunner Catherine Jakeways, who shared this with Deadline at the end of season 2. And also, side note, did you guys know that this was Matthew Broome, who plays Guy's first on-screen acting credits? I've got to say, for a first-timer here, I think he was great. I loved Guy's character. I think he was quite endearing. And I mean, I've always been rooting for Guy and Nan. But since then, he's also become the star of a movie franchise. It's My Fault London, and that is on Prime Video. So if you want to catch him in between seasons, go ahead and do that. And also, if you do watch it, drop a comment and let me know exactly what you think and if it's worth the watch. So I don't know about you, but I could not be happier to get this news. 2 months is kind of a long time, and I was sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, are we not going to get the continuation of this? There's been a lot of discussion on the writing, on some of the decisions by characters in season 2, and our girl Nan has got a lot of hate. I actually put a whole video out on that topic in season 2 of whether or not Nan deserves it, but I stick by my feelings that I don't think she does. These are young women who are in high-stakes situations in a very high society. So yes, we need to hold them accountable, but at the same time, I think they also deserve a little bit of grace from us viewers. And just in general, I don't love it when fandoms are fighting about these things, especially polarizing issues. And I think the thing to keep in mind is we need to remember that these characters are played by real-life actors, and anytime we say something harmful, toxic, or hurtful, that does somewhat reflect on the actual real-life person. So it's okay to not like a character or hate them or not respect their decisions, but let's also just keep in mind we need to actually treat the actors with respect because they are putting so much time and effort into making this show for all of us. All right, what are your thoughts here on the season 3 renewal? Are you excited? Did you see it coming? How do we think everything is going to go? Whose baby is Nan's? Is Theo going to stick by his decision if he finds out that she's pregnant with the heir? Is Guy going to go after Nan, or is he going to stay with Paloma? And Kit Tintagel is on the scene. It will also be interesting to see his relationship with Dowager because this is not her son. This is the product of an affair from Theo's dad. So that also adds in this extra layer of complication, but also sort of mirrors the fact that Nan is also an illegitimate child. Could they end up together? I guess it's possible, but again, I think that Nan and Guy are really at the heart of all of this. So if we are going to see a pairing, I do hope it's them. If Guy goes and chases her all around the world and they end up together in the same place again, for me at least, that is a true testament to his love for Nan, especially given everything that she has put him through before. And then, of course, we've got the fallout from Conchita, the death of Richard, Jinny, and Lord Seaton being imprisoned, and of course, Mabel and Honoria, one of my favorite couples on the whole show. Drop all of your thoughts on this renewal down in the comments, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. You guys, I am working on getting to 10,000 subscribers, which is quite the arduous goal, but hey, I'm putting the time in, and I really appreciate everybody who's stuck with me, especially all of you who've been here with the Buccaneers content throughout season 2. And like I said, I'll be back with all of the news for season 3. And if you're looking for another teen drama to watch, Maxton Hall is another book adaptation. Season 2 is coming out on Prime Video on November 7th. Season 1 is available to stream. There are 6 episodes. There will be 6 in season 2 as well. And hey, if you love some of these scandalous love stories, I highly recommend catching that. It is a German adapted show into British English, so the dubbing is a little bit of a boundary maybe to get over, but the storyline is fire. I'm also talking about Only Murders in the Building on Hulu, Task on HBO, and Gen V on Prime Video. Are there any other shows you'd like to see me talk about here in the Buccaneers hiatus? Definitely let me know down in the comments, and I'll be back again soon with more TV talk. Media Melanie, clicking off.